The thing about being black is that people think it's very simple. I didn't know that it was a thing that people could do, speak other languages. And it's because I grew up in this bubble. But when the bubble started to pop and I started seeing the world, and the older I got, the more I felt like I wasn't black. And it's kind of unfair because I'm not the one who chose to be like this.
The first language I was taught was Xhosa from my grandparents, because I stayed with them for like the first 4 or 5 years of my life.
Yeah.
And then when my parents got a job in Kimberley, we moved there, and I think they just thought it would be easier for me if I spoke English.
Yeah.
So that's when I started learning how to speak English, because I couldn't communicate with the other kids then, because they were all speaking English and Afrikaans. So they started teaching me English, and then eventually Xhosa just... It's just like small things, like, for example, if I have to greet someone, like I automatically greet in English because I'm used to it, but then they greet me like Xhosa, and I need to like remember, oh yeah, this is, what am I supposed to say? Is it molo? Is it like, what is it? And then I do this weird thing where I don't know what happens. I just, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I trip on my own word, and that's embarrassing in itself. Yeah, like I've practiced how to like say, okay, like likai, reading likai, and things like that. But sometimes I still question whether I'm pronouncing it the right way. At the same time, I feel like I need to be like open to going to people and being like, okay, can you teach me?
Yeah.
But then also that feels like a hard thing for me for some reason.
Yeah.
Because it feels hard for me to go up to someone and just be like, can you teach me this thing that I should have known when I was like 2 or 3 or like then already?
Yeah.
And I feel like the older I get, am I gonna struggle more?
I hate English. Like, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I felt power because I went to a white school. There were about like 6 to 8 black people in my grade. They would always compliment me because I had a great accent.
Yeah.
You know, and like, wow, you speak so well. And I used to think it was so powerful. I'm like, you know, I can conquer the world with this English.
Yeah.
It's great. And I guess that's why my parents decided, like, they're gonna just teach us English because they're like, you know, this is the way the world's going, it's gonna be easier.
Because at some point I was like worried, what if this affects my career or like my personal life in the future? I once had this fear that like, okay, at some point if I date someone, what if my mother-in-law hates me because I can't speak Xhosa or Sotho? What if she thinks I'm the whitest black girl? And it's enough that like my grandparents or like my parents have to speak to me in English. Yeah. And now the person you're dating has to do that too.
Having this conversation, what is blackness to you? What does it mean?
I feel like I'm still trying to figure it out. Because I tend to like, I'm very fascinated with how African Americans are. And just, they've been taken away from their land and they don't know what they like. Many of them don't know what their heritage is or where they come from. Yeah. Yet they still consider themselves like how can they still feel that way when they don't have what we have here? We have so much more than they do when it comes to like culture and tradition. Well, they're not like constantly reminded, okay, you can't speak this, you don't know these traditions and culture that you're supposed to know. Yeah. For them it's like not a big deal, but for us it's like we're here. Yeah. Yeah, like I'm here.
Do you feel that if you knew Vernac, you would feel more comfortable with your blackness?
Yeah.
Talk Nagaka.
Yeah, I think I would. This one time I saw this Xhosa, Learn How to Speak Xhosa book, and I really wanted to buy it. Like I was like, okay, I'll spend my money on this, and I saw the author was white. I was like there aren't a lot of resources, and when they are, it's done by white people. Like, I don't know.
And it's like, do you support that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to be taught by a black person. But then, there have been a lot of times where black people were dismissive, and that's why I don't like to come out and say, I don't speak Vernac. Yeah. Because then it changes so many things. Now, someone is treating me different because I'm only speaking English.
Like, people say very hurtful things without thinking because they think it's funny. Yeah. Or they think that they're justified because they can speak a lot of languages. When I was a waitress, this waitress called me stupid. And then she's like, how do you not know Sotho? I've been here for 5 years and learned Zulu and Sotho. You're stupid.
And I don't think it's something that makes you lesser. It's just something that you just so happen to not know how to do. But
I don't like interacting with people, actually.
Yeah, I realize that too.
I get social anxiety.
Heavy social anxiety because you don't know how someone else is going to react.
What would you like Africans in general? What would you like them to know about people like us?
Sometimes I feel like it shouldn't be a big deal, but at the same time, it's like I get why some people see it as a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, we're African, we're black, we're supposed to know how to speak the languages that our parents spoke. We're still learning and we're trying.
That's
yeah.
a nice one.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not trying. Sometimes I feel like I'm tired. I don't want to know. Like, I feel like I'm okay.
I get it.
Yeah, especially like after being criticized a lot, then I'm like, you know what? Fuck this, it's okay.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Thank you so much, though.
Yeah,
This was really good.
pleasure.